Hello everyone, welcome back to Drinker Brews. Today I want to talk to you guys about building Sligh in 40 card formats. So first of all, we'll talk about what Sligh is. Back in 1996 and 1997, players not only had the audacity to submit decks with Goblins of the Flarg and Dwarven Pony combined, but also they were doing well in winning regional tournaments and Pro Tour qualifiers and things like that. And later on, people discovered the power of Orcish Librarian and learned that that was a kill on sight creature before the deck was able to stack what it needed to win. So, between these measly 1/1 creatures, how did the deck perform so well? Well, first of all, it operated on a mana curve. It played a land every turn and then used all of its mana until the game was over. Creatures like Orcish Artillery and Brothers of Fire were able to generate card advantage and remove the opponent's creatures or eliminate the opponent based on dealing enough damage to their life total. Additionally, the deck had card advantage in the sense that each of its draws were live and important. The deck had removal such as Pillage that targeted a variety of permanent types, or the deck had removal in the form of Lightning Bolt, Fireball, and other burn spells that also eliminated the opponent. As mentioned before, there were no combinations in the deck, so every draw was independent of other cards, and each draw was relevant and effective in the game. Finally, the vast majority of the decks were mono red and had consistent access to the mana that it needed. So I went to classicdojo.org, and the link will be in my description, and did a deep dive looking at the different mana values of cards in the Sligh decks of the 1996 and 97 era. It'd be fascinating, I'm sure, for you to go look at the same data. And especially you can do a comparison of a pre-bolt and a post-bolt Sligh deck template. But we have between 6, which is fairly low, between 6 and 15 1-drops, between 12 and 14 2-drops, between 6 and 13 3-drops, between 0 and 4 4-drops, and arguably with the Fire Blasts of 1997, 0 to 6 X-Spells. And then there were between 21 and 26 lands available as well. As we convert these numbers from a 60 card deck to a 40 card deck, we're going to keep in mind that some of the lands over here are not available in Revised 40 or Fallen Empires 40 or Unlimited 40. So we don't have Strip Mine or Mishra's Factory or Thawing Glaciers. So our lands might be on the lower end of this count without those utility lands available. On the bottom row, we have the recommended amount of various mana values for a 60 card deck. And some of these numbers look off when you look at the lists that performed successfully above. But there were other categories in the recommended spells, such as removal and burn and things like that, where those would inflate some of these numbers that are along the bottom. So I converted these numbers into a 40 card deck and wanted to look at what we had available for each mana value. And we end up with between 4 and 10 cards that cost 1 mana. And if we get rid of that outlier that had only 6 1-drops from 1997, then we should end up with 6 to 10 1-drops in a 40 card deck. We should have 8 to 9 2-drops in a 40 card deck, between 4 and 8 3-drops, 0 to 2 4-drops, and 0 to 2 X-Spells. Now, I'm going to give a note about X-Spells because I will be fine using Fireball as a 2-mana spell, provided that it also has that utility of being an end-game finisher. I think it's very hard to deal as much damage as a Fireball with a card such as Mon's Goblin Raiders. So when you average these out and add them up, you're going to end up with an extra card available here and there, and I might favor the X-Spells and play more than they did in 1996 and 97. I wonder if they could go back in time, would they play a greater number of fireballs and disintegrates? But we'll never know, I suppose. Okay, so we have the technology, and my next few videos, I'm going to have deck text for a revised 40 Sligh deck and a Fallen Empires 40 Sligh deck. And once all the cards come in, an unlimited 40 Sligh deck. I'm excited to show you what I've come up with, and in the meantime, I'm curious to know what you can figure out juggling these numbers and the various restrictions that the 40 card formats have. Anyway, I don't have any ownership of the images that are in here. I appreciate Wizards for having made these cards long ago. If you have any feedback, please let me know in the comments. And I look forward to seeing you in future videos and at my Instagram, Revised40. Thank you all. Good luck. Have fun.